In the quaint village of Red Orchid, nestled among mist-shrouded hills, the villagers lived a life that thrummed with the simplicity of olden times. Fields rippled with golden rice, and the air was sweet with the fragrance of blooming orchids. Yet, despite the serenity, an ancient whisper of unease threaded through the village lore, speaking of the Jiangshi, the hopping vampires of legend. It was the time of the harvest moon, symbolizing joy and plenty. But for Lian, a young, spirited woman with the soul of a warrior, this particular harvest moon kindled a flame of adventure. Guided by her grandfather's tales, Lian knew of an old shrine dedicated to the earth god, hidden deep within the nearby forest. A forest that villagers ventured into only when the sun reigned high above, never under the moon's watch. The shrine, as her grandfather's tales went, contained a sacred scroll that held the knowledge to confront the Jiangshi. Said to awaken during the rare blue harvest moon, a celestial event occurring once every century and, coincidentally, that very night. Myth whispered that the Jiangshi, if unchecked during such an auspicious time, would bring a century of darkness and despair. Lian's heart raced with a mix of fear and bold determination as she stood at the forest's edge. The moon had climbed high, washing the world in a cerulean glow as she slipped silently between the shadowy trees. An owl hooted, a solemn sentinel in the eerie quietude. Far deeper into the woods than she had ever dared before, Lian found the ancient shrine. It was crumbling, overtaken by moss and wild ivy, but held a silent majesty that spoke of its once sacred place in the villagers' hearts. Inside, the air was thick with the musk of damp earth and old incense. Scouring the dim interior, Lian found the scroll, encased in a beam of moonlight filtering through a crack in the ceiling. As her fingers brushed the ancient parchment, a cold dread seeped into the air. The ground trembled faintly beneath her, and a low, guttural moan echoed through the forest, sending a chill down her spine. The Jiangshi were awakening, stirred by the power of the blue harvest moon. Lian quickly unrolled the scroll, the characters dancing before her eyes in the moonlight. The scripture was a chant, a binding spell of old, written in the poetic form of her ancestors. Memorizing the lines, she hurried outside, where the air had grown colder, the atmosphere suffused with a palpable tension. She didn't have to wait long. A group of Jiangshi appeared at the tree line, their bodies rigid, eyes glowing red with unearthly hunger, their movements jerky as they hopped toward her. Heart hammering, Lian recited the chant with all the force her spirit could muster. The words cut through the night, clear and resonant. Light enveloped the hopping figures, halting them in their tracks. They trembled under the power of the spell, and one by one they began to dissipate, like fog under the morning sun. Just as the last Jiangshi vanished, the spell's final word left Lian's lips, and she collapsed, spent from the ordeal, but victorious. The village of Red Orchid awoke the next morning to find the blue harvest moon had not brought destruction, but had been a night of profound magic and courage. Lian became both guardian and legend, her tale a new thread woven into the fabric of the village's history. Peace reigned over Red Orchid once more, the harmony between the natural and the supernatural restored, albeit precariously, by the bravery of one young woman who believed in the power of her ancestors' words.